Hello, hello, hello. Let's see, we got Phantom and Neko in on the chat. How are we doing tonight? Hello. Oh, there we go. Boy just went for family lunch day and lasted way too long. Oof. It happens. Also, for those of you who haven't seen it, we have the leaderboard. Don't know how, but we have the leaderboard thing. It was 5 hours for lunch. Yikes. Okay. My day was pretty good. And now I've also got to check something for Neko's sake. So I think I found something. Settings, privacy. Neko. If you go to your YouTube settings under privacy, there should be a thing under live chat for the leaderboard. See if yours is on. So that might be, you may have yours set to be turned off, which could be the reason it's, you don't have it. Because mine's currently turned on, so leaderboard is on. So it should be set to the left. Nope. Okay. No, you probably will get it eventually. But yeah, reaction content. We're gonna start with this. See how long it takes. No, it's not. That's not. That's for how you get your own. That's like if I turned that to the right, I would opt out of getting the leaderboard. I don't see the point in the leaderboard because I mean, fair. So, yeah, as I was saying, reaction content. We're gonna start with this. Yeah, it is. That's how it goes. We're gonna start with this. It probably won't take the whole stream time. Huh, weird. That's weird. Yeah. Thanks for the hugs, Neko. But yeah, then we have something to go do in Hitman in honor of 4th of July. So, yeah, so as I was saying, reaction content, it won't be a common thing. It'll be when either Dang and AUs come out that I'm really intrigued in watching. I'd watch that with you guys. Or, like, Nintendo Directs, I'd probably react to on stream. I'm going to do some stuff in October that I don't want to share quite yet. But I've got some fun reaction stuff for October. Even though that would be me reading. But due to YouTube's like fair use rules, don't be shocked if this stream doesn't get uploaded after a day or two. I'm going to do my best to kind of get a feel for how it's supposed to go. But we will be doing some Hitman today as well, so we're looking forward to that. But little things to note, I have the link to the video in the top of the description. If you guys want to go check it out, leave a like, go subscribe to Alex Bale. He makes some good theories. But yeah, let's hop into it, because I do want to play that Hitman thing on stream.
You're the team leader, not a singer.
Did you ever think maybe I could be both? Our team is coming apart because of your singing thing. I don't dance.
I've always thought there was something disturbing about...
And also, just for YouTube's sake, if they're actually looking over it, all High School Musical footage used falls under fair use. You can react to this content if it's transformative. So as long as it's transformative, there is permission to react to it. YouTube. They probably won't care, but regardless.
High School Musical. I know that sounds strange, because these movies were made to be anything but disturbing. They are the quintessential cheesy Disney Channel originals where everyone is always smiling and singing, and the biggest
which nowadays is just any movie, really. It's not even like a just Disney Channel that does it. There's just so many companies that every movie is a musical to them. So, yeah.
Conflict is whether Troy will play basketball or sing in a musical. They are by no means disturbing.
To be more worried about the original uploader than about the High School Musical because they're able to post it in the first place. Right. No. That's what that statement says. If you can react to this content if it's transformative. He is directly talking about his own video. He has not had problems with people reacting to this content in the past. Like, he's even inputted people reacting to his content in some videos in the past. Because he doesn't care. This is more so YouTube does not copyright this. So, like, I'm not worried about it on his part as long as it's transformative. Which is why we're kind of starting with something like this. Like a little bit more chill of a person. Who is more willing to let the reaction stuff happen. So I can now get like a good feel for it.
Films. But if you really think about it,
because a lot of the reaction stuff I'm going to react to in the future isn't videos. A lot of them are going to be like reading stuff.
Musicals where the characters
also, how's like audio sound?
About the fact
because I don't
want to sing and dance.
Hip hop is my passion. I love to pop and lock and jam and break.
Yep, immediately starts dancing.
There are scenes where Chad tells Troy he shouldn't sing, immediately followed
by
like
Chad the song I Don't Dance.
A giant choreographed song and dance.
So dude, you know that school musical thing? Is it true you get extra credit just for auditioning?
Who cares? You ever think LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal auditioned for their school musical?
I mean, maybe.
There's even a song called I Don't Dance that Chad sings while he's dancing.
Which, when I was younger, I always found that funny. Because they're absolutely talking about... Yeah, no, it's not even just I don't dance, it's... them talking about how they can't dance either. And here they are doing a full choreographed number. Which I wonder if it's going to mention how it's also talked about how they can't dance in the first place.
It's a really weird contradiction that's always kind of creeped me out for some reason. It almost gives you the impression that these characters aren't in control or are aware of what their bodies are doing.
Parasites.
Obviously, we're not really supposed to question the logic of these songs, because that's just kind of how musicals work.
Until you get into the theorists. Once the theorists get their hands on it, then it never is that easy. Just look at FNAF! Because, oh boy, there's a lot there.
These are just fantasy, non-diegetic songs that only we, the audience, can see. There's nothing strange about them. So I tried my best to just ignore the creepy feeling I got from these movies, but the more I rewatched them, the more I couldn't deny that there was something very wrong with the students at East High. I believe that behind the smiles and the singing is a very dark secret about this school. A secret that the filmmakers intentionally hid within these movies 17 years ago that today I intend to solve. This is the High School Musical theory.
Oh boy.
You are hacked by a computer virus.
If only there was a safer way to use the internet.
As much as I'd... Now you're off the leaderboard. What? The leaderboard's scuffed. As much as I want to watch his sponsorship, because it's my own video, I don't want to... Funny musical theory is the thing. I don't want to get in trouble for playing someone else's sponsorship ad on my stream. So we're not going to.
So, what exactly is happening when the characters in these movies...
Because that would be...
I'm not talking about when they're performing
problematic.
on stage in front of a crowd. I'm talking about when the characters are in the school hallways or the cafeteria, and suddenly, without any warning
I know that's
or
been a problem in the
explanation,
past.
the entire school breaks out into a highly choreographed musical number, and
Yeah.
then just moves on from it like nothing ever
The
happened.
choreographed part's the interesting part. Because how do you do the, How would you explain the choreographing in it?
Like, what's really going on here? Are the characters aware of the fact that they just sang an entire song? Was this an impromptu flash mob that they planned?
I'm actually...
No, obviously not.
No,
We're
I'm
supposed
pretty
to
sure they're
assume that
aware.
These are just fantasy sequences that only we, the audience, can see.
So I think
Or
they've made
that's
mention
what
to
I
it in the
originally
past.
thought. But then, I took a closer look at these musical numbers, and I started to notice a very strange pattern. In the first High School Musical, Gabriella is the new girl at school, and the first time she experiences one of these spontaneous musical numbers is in the Stick to the Status Quo song in the cafeteria. Now, Gabriella doesn't enter until about...
Which then makes a better question, because if it's like... Because usually with these things, it's like smaller demographics. You'll get like, what's a good... I don't dance. You've got like your baseball group and another group, so it's a lot more condensed. In the sake of something like this, though, where it's... That's like... Because if we're going to go a more basic high school lunch routine where it's like about 2 lunch periods, maybe 3, this is about half the student high school class breaking off into a choreographed dance number. Which, very interesting to point out.
Halfway through the song,
small class.
She has a very interesting reaction to it.
Interesting.
Unlike everyone else, Gabriella doesn't join in. Instead, she seems very confused and disoriented by what's going on. She's honestly
I feel like they explained that, though. I'm pretty sure doesn't it's been a while since I've watched High School Musical, but I'm pretty sure Gabriella, it brings up a line like immediately after the song ends, Gabrielle asks the other lady she's with right here if this song and dance all happened because of her. And because this was when a couple people knew what Troy was doing. Not a lot, I think. But it does directly reference, like, Gabrielle's asking, hey, did this happen? This whole kind of dance thing. That could be what she's meaning. But, like, all happened because of her. So I see why she'd be a little confused and disoriented. And why she didn't join in. Because it's about her. Usually, if you have a song about someone in musicals, they're not singing. Unless you're Hamilton. But we're not getting started there.
Reacting like how you or I would if we suddenly saw our entire school singing and dancing without any explanation. Okay,
fair enough.
But maybe she's just nervous about people staring at her or something. This
no.
doesn't necessarily mean she's actually aware of this fantasy
Kind
song.
of going what I was saying, but...
The only time where something like this happens. In High School Musical 2, when Troy starts dancing in Work This Out, look at everyone's initial reaction. For a moment, they're all like, whoa, why the hell are you dancing, Troy? At first, they are confused by the nature of these spontaneous songs before they all magically join in too. And if you still don't think that this is weird, then let me show you...
What can I say about this? So, good, interesting point. They do seem a little bit shocked. The interesting thing to add, though, is... You've got to consider characters into this, because sure, certain things would make sense why they'd be confused, but you got to remember Troy. A lot of his whole arc in High School Musical is revolving around music, so that it would make sense he's singing. This girl in the background, in Stick to Status Quo, she's talking about how she wants to do breakdancing. Gabriella, female lead. A lot of music stuff. Chad, I believe his name was. This is an interesting one because he's kind of anti-music very often, or not. He's kind of going against things. So it's interesting to note, like, order of importance here. It's Troy, then the girl back here, Gabriella, him, and background characters are kind of there.
That can't be explained away so easily. An example that
I'm gonna try.
legitimately creeps me out.
Because I'd like playing devil's advocate with theories. Because once you start not being able to explain stuff, that's when you know it's good. Also, great song.
And there's initially nothing strange about it.
If he usually acts apprehensive around music, it makes sense if they would react in a song starting. Yes. It also brings to question, kind of brings into the point, though, that these musicals are actually happening and not just being placed in. And, for example, like how Alexander Hamilton does it. You've never seen this movie, wish you knew anything at all, lol. I'll do my best to kind of explain the story as I bring stuff up. But basically, like, for example, as what you're saying, in Hamilton, a lot of the music is placed as story progression. Like, it's not like actual... It's like you're transitioning through time through music. Not necessarily... the music isn't necessarily in the story. It's out of the story to tell the story. Similar to like Les Mis. This is more like Les Mis, where the music actually pushes the story forward and on purpose for the music to be picked. The transitions are nice. But it's very interesting. Because this is pointing out that this is more taking place in the world of High School Musical as opposed to outside the world to tell the story of the world.
Until, when the background students suddenly
I
join in
like
on the song
this.
without any explanation, look closely at Ryan's reaction.
He is very confused. Honestly, he looks terrified.
It's very easy to miss with Sharpay in front of him, but Ryan is clearly extremely confused by the other students suddenly dancing around him. Unlike the other examples...
I wouldn't say that's confused. I would say that's more just kind of questioning what's going on. He's kind of a little spooked by it. Because also you gotta consider in this scene, he's kind of being pressured into doing something it might not want to do. Therefore, he's kind of already kind of like not on the... He's kind of on the fence about it. And so this whole thing happening is kind of him just being like, oh, okay, then.
There is no other possible explanation here. In this moment, Ryan is 100% aware of the fact that he is experiencing an unexplainable, spontaneous musical scene, and he looks deeply disturbed by this.
Yeah, he looks disturbed.
This is a very intentional choice by the filmmakers. They are directly telling us that we should be questioning the logic of these musical scenes, which has some pretty disturbing implications about this world.
Something like here again kind of makes sense.
Get pulled into the song like everyone else, but look at what happens after the song ends and we come back to reality.
It's ours, Ryan.
Not only are they both still posing and out of breath, like they did actually sing that entire song, it wasn't just something that they imagined, but also, look at Ryan's face. He is once again...
Okay. I'm gonna let it play out a little bit more.
And very confused about what just happened before moving on like everything's normal. We are consistently being...
Okay. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for this part. So, I can't explain the out-breathiness looking like they just did the whole song, but there's a few things you've gotta keep in mind. One, his look of shock is if he is in the position of thinking he did just do this, that snap back to reality would kind of leave someone confused, trying to figure out what's going on. Whereas the big question is, though, why isn't anyone else reacting to what's happening? Because if they did just do that whole number, at least one other person besides those two would have some sort of reaction. And it looked like there wasn't any. So it's very weird. Because it shows both sides, like, they did seem to just do this. But at the same time, no one else reacts. Whereas we've seen, like, other people react to the song and music happening around them. It's kind of awkward.
These big spontaneous
for sure.
Musical numbers are actually happening, but it isn't something that the characters are choosing to do. It's like something is taking over their body.
I'd argue otherwise. I feel like some people do... I'll let his theory go to work and keep this in the back burner. But it does... Some characters do seem to do it on purpose. Like your main cast, I feel like, are more like doing the song and dance on purpose. Some characters, maybe more than others, you would suggest a hive mind. Yeah. But like, if we're taking like Troy, Gabriella... Sharpay, like the main cast, I feel like are more on purpose with doing their music and dancing.
But they only get these rare little moments of awareness and utter terror about what's going on.
At the same time, it would still be weird
and move on like nothing ever happened.
As if they know people who don't want, like, guided mass hysteria.
Take a look at what happens when characters leave East High.
People leaving East High, and I hear Sharpay. This is going to be about Sharpay's big movie, I believe.
Has always been in the spotlight.
I'm gonna be honest, I was always curious if this movie was canon, or like a movie in a movie.
Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure is a
That's what it's
spin-off
called.
after High School Musical 3
A
that
spin-off.
follows Sharpay
But it's
moving to New
questionable.
York to pursue her dreams
Is
of
this
becoming a Broadway
technically
star. But
canon?
what's strange about this movie
Because
is that
sure, it's using the
not
same character,
a musical.
but it could be like
Sharpay
a movie
does perform
in
some
a
diegetic
musical.
songs on stage for an audience, but unlike all the other movies in
It's
this franchise,
interesting.
this movie has no spontaneous fantasy songs, which is really weird because Sharpay
Right.
is like the most iconic musical character in this franchise.
True.
It almost feels like whatever causes people to spontaneously sing in this universe
Would be
only
from the
exists
school.
in East High, or at least in the surrounding area.
Unless my theory of this being a movie that takes place in the world of High School Musical, using Sharpay as a character, that could also make sense. Because then that would behave differently than the outside world.
SNL did this parody sketch with Zac Efron that
Oh.
feels more accurate every time I watch these movies.
High School Musical 4, new senior class.
I'm
Okay.
here to talk about what happens after you leave East High. Here's the deal. No one sings at
I've actually never
college.
seen this.
People just stared at me. And from what I can tell, this is America's only singing high school.
Remember how in the first High School
Okay. Interesting. Well, at that point, you can't count that as canon, because that's Saturday Night Live actively making a parody of it. So I feel like you can't use that as something to take into consideration, but I do get what he's kind of saying. But, yeah, that actually does bring in a good question of, because doesn't High School the Musical now have a show, High School Musical, the musical, the show, or High School Musical, the movie? I can't remember. It's either another movie within the realm of High School Musical. It gets confusing. But there is
Gabriella
something
seemed
there.
kind of aware and confused by the spontaneous songs at first. It wasn't just a quick moment.
Because
for her.
something like
She
that.
never joined
Yeah.
in on Stick to the Status Quo. You probably never realized this, but Gabriella never actually gets a non-diegetic song until 2/3 of the way through the first movie, despite her being one of the two
Does she?
main characters of this musical.
She
What if
does-
this is because she's
Okay,
the
that
new
first
girl
one
at
isn't
school, and
diegetic.
whatever's making people sing hasn't fully affected her yet. Now,
Could
there
be.
are some exceptions where characters still spontaneously sing outside of the school.
But it's like
High
still
School Musical 2
school
when they're in a country club for the summer.
characters.
But that's still nearby the school in Albuquerque, and they haven't really been there for very long. The main exception
Yeah.
to this is at the end of High School Musical 3, when Gabriella briefly goes to Stanford as a part of early enrollment,
Right.
and she still has a non-diegetic song.
Take my hand.
Again, really good song. If you haven't heard High School Musical's music, I'd suggest listening to some of it. It's really good. Really good prom dance song too.
Take the lead.
And they make a really big point about how far away Stanford is from East High.
Promise tonight
Yes.
in Albuquerque. It's 1,000 miles away.
So it seems like this would disprove the
They
idea
are
that
good.
the songs can only happen near the school.
Also, this brings to question, because doesn't she only leave like a day before and it's over 1,000 miles, which, I mean, depends on how she traveled, but that, for the time it takes, no way did she get there within a day. Unless she flew.
Then I took a closer
But then
look
plane
at this
fare.
scene. So Gabriella went to Stanford as a part of an early enrollment and had to miss out on
Right.
prom at East High, but then Troy decides to also skip prom and instead dance with Gabriella at Stanford. And this is when we get their non-diegetic song. But during
Right.
the song, they're both briefly transported to East High's prom with all of their friends.
Which is interesting. But it's also
Now,
only
obviously,
those
this is
two
supposed to be a
singing,
cutaway.
right?
We aren't actually back at the school. Stuff like this happens all the time in the musical numbers from these movies. These are all just imaginary fantasy sets. It's kind of like Troy and Gabriella are imagining
thanks for the
East
lurks.
High and are incorporating things from their real-life surroundings into the fantasy. But if that's true, then why can we already see the exact same stone pillar set 30 minutes ago at East High?
Don't forget to like E. I can actually explain this. So, you can probably counter-argue this. We don't know whose POV we're looking at. Because it's diegetic, we could maybe make the assumption that it's both of them, but if, say, this is Troy's POV, like Mudkips, yeah. Yay. But, if this is, say, Troy's POV, then he's probably seen this, because, it is also, like, a musical that's happening in High School Musical 3. So he would have seen this, probably, and he's mentally incorporating it into the prom itself. Similar, you could maybe say with Gabriella, unless this set isn't shown throughout the movie at all besides this point. How are you, King of Death? If it's not shown out throughout this other point in the movie, then maybe it would make a little more sense. But I feel like he could probably... This could be Troy's POV. And we're seeing stuff he has seen, and he's mentally incorporating it.
This was not part of some fantasy scene. They clearly actually
they're seeing
built a set at East High. And this was before Gabriella even decided to go to Stanford early. But then why can we see the fantasy pillars backstage? Because in the Stanford song,
they could
the
be
East
imagining
High prom
those.
part isn't the fantasy. Stanford is. Gabriella never actually
Okay, enjoy have some
East
time off
High.
work. Yeah.
We are shown
Best part about
time
4th
and
of
again
July
that
is not
these
having to do
spontaneous
anything.
Musical numbers can cause vivid fantasy hallucinations of other places.
True.
So I think that whatever's causing Gabriella to break out into song also caused her to hallucinate going to Stanford.
But
in reality,
a lot of the parts that have that happen are musicals. Or musical parts. So I don't know.
Actually left.
That's
you might be ready to say
interesting.
goodbye to East High, but East High is not ready to say goodbye to you.
This honestly makes more sense than Troy
Unless this
being
is like
able
a
to drive
dream
all the way to
sequence.
Stanford and back in time for the school
That
musical
could be
with
it.
his piece of shit car that's constantly breaking down.
Yeah, fair. That looks like rough shit. That car's in rough
If my
shape.
truck falls apart because I'm spending all my free time on stage, it's all your fault.
Something at East High is manipulating all of these students, causing them to sing and dance and even hallucinate to the point where they can't even leave. But that brings me to the question that you've probably been waiting for me to answer. What exactly is causing all of this?
Nice.
Why does this school seem to have this strange power over all of the students? And to be honest, for the first time ever in one of these videos, I don't actually have an answer for you.
Okay.
I have 5. Yes, I
Nice.
have come up with 5 different possible explanations for these strange
Oh boy.
phenomenon going
So
on.
I feel we gotta
For
rank
the first
these.
time ever, we are doing an official Alex Bale theory iceberg,
Oh,
and you
boy.
decide which one you like the best. And
Okay.
I'm going to be sharing each of them with you in order from sort of tame and realistic to completely batshit insane
Yay.
and stupid. Some of these are going to be a little
Hell
more in
yeah.
depth than the others, and some of these are just going to be kind of fucking crazy. So, you know, just mentally prepare yourself for that. Without further ado,
I planned
starting
on
with
watching
the
this
very tip
theory.
of the iceberg,
I'm already
here is the
mentally
most
prepared
boring,
seeing
tame,
Alex Bale stuff in the
believable theory
past.
I can come up with.
Most believable. It's all just a musical.
This is all just lazy writing and coincidences, and I'm overthinking little things that actually mean nothing.
Hell yeah. Yes, we love
this
insanity.
One's probably the correct answer. I mean, this is probably...
Oh. Okay. For some reason on my end, it's just being weird.
the correct answer to
the SpongeBob theories
but
those are
that's fun. And you're not watching a YouTube fan theory for the the boring realistic answer. So let's just move on from this one. I'm not actually counting this as one of the 5.
I wouldn't say this is a good theory. Just because it's mass hysteria. Hey, Neko! Nice!
I've had this theory planned for a while, but fucking Danny Gonzalez kind of jokingly beat me to it first.
I think I've seen that.
So, I don't know. Go check out his video. It's very funny.
And you guys go check it out too.
In 1518, Strasbourg, France, a woman named Frau Trophia walked into the streets and reportedly started silently dancing without any explanation. Soon, other people began to join her, and over the next couple of weeks, hundreds of people all began uncontrollably silently dancing with no explanation or way to stop. Many collapsed from exhaustion, and some even reportedly died from heat stroke. This became known as the Dancing Plague of 1518, and it is believed to be one of the most infamous cases of mass hysteria in history. The leading theory behind why this happened is because of extreme stress from famine and diseases at the time, but mass hysteria is something that still...
Stress, you say? Like, I don't know, school? I don't know, that maybe. But that... Okay. You know what? We're going to go let through each section kind of happen. I'll put in some input and I'll give my overall impression at the end of each section. So I have a couple things to say about this.
Happens in many different forms to this day, even to students in high school.
Could mass hysteria be responsible for dozens of high schoolers' unexplained hiccups?
Health officials say 12 girls from Leroy Junior Senior High School have exhibited similar symptoms.
A doctor treating them says they suffered from conversion disorder, a very real condition resulting from trauma or stress. In the Leroy case, most of the sufferers attend the high school and junior high school there.
So maybe it's as simple as the stress of being in high school and the pressure of conforming to the status quo was enough to cause a mass hysteria at East High that resulted in students spontaneously breaking out into song and dance. I think this is a very plausible explanation for what's happening in these movies, and it really ties in well with the core conflict these characters are facing. And if mass hysteria is this low on my iceberg, then you know these next theories are about to...
Okay. Input. Kinda. The biggest thing I would say against this is if it was like a smaller bunch of students, okay, that would kind of make a little more sense. But if you look, there's sections where it's like the whole school doing it. I doubt like everyone would be stressed by the same things like for school. And then that would also bring into question High School Musical. High School is traumatic, true. But then that also brings into the question High School Musical 2, where they're just at a country club. Like, usually something that is a lot more relaxing. There shouldn't be as much stress that shows up there. But yet, the same situations are happening. So it can't really be something that has resulted to stress. Even though I kind of can see it making sense. Musical physics. Cascade, a mass outburst of musical expression typically caused by supernatural forces, hallucinogenic drugs, and other factors. Also, hi, Kale Gruen. You're welcome. Haven't seen you around before, but interesting, yeah. Yeah, it would kind of be interesting that. But interesting to note those things, supernatural forces and hallucinogenic drugs.
About to get really weird.
I mean, the school could be doing some interesting stuff. Zeke?
Hear me out.
Zeke.
I think Zeke is up to something.
Okay.
Zeke is one of the basketball side characters, and his whole thing is that he secretly loves to bake, but no one at school accepts that about.
Two things, actually. It's the fact he likes to bake and that he likes Sharpay. I mean, isn't the main theme throughout the movies trying to live up to expectations put out upon us by others like parents, society, etc.? True, I guess that could make sense then. That could be part of it. But Zeke also has a little B plot where he likes Sharpay.
About him.
That's another important thing about him.
Movie. I bake. What?
Okay, you're good.
Strudel scones, even apple pan
There's not a ton to his character. He's just kind of the funny food guy. He's always giving people stuff he baked.
I baked these fresh today.
I baked you some cookies.
Hey, ladies, you guys want a cupcake?
But the one strange thing that I noticed about Zeke is his relationship with Sharpay.
Right.
So Zeke has a crush on Sharpay and tries to ask her out.
Hey, Sharpay. Well, I just thought maybe you could watch me play ball sometime or something.
And she fucking hates him.
I'd rather stick pins in my eyes. Evaporate, tall person.
But then he bakes her some cookies, and she suddenly
the first person who doesn't like someone tall
has a very different reaction.
These cookies are genius. The best things I've ever tasted.
I have a feeling he's about to say that Zeke is drugging people. And I immediately am going to say I don't think this is a good theory if that's the case.
What's he putting in those cookies? Okay, well, whatever. That's kind of weird, but, you know, it's just a typical Disney Channel gag.
Yeah,
then,
fair.
By the next movie, Sharpay completely forgets about Zeke and moves on to being obsessed with Troy.
Troy, Sharpay.
Interesting.
Troy.
But then Zeke gets a job as a chef, and he's really excited to be working near Sharpay.
Chef Michael's gonna teach me the art of Austrian flake pastry. And Sharpay's gonna be where I work every day.
I think we can assume he's probably giving her food again. And then, at the end of High School Musical 2, she's kind of all over him again.
I feel like this is continuity error.
A pattern here. Then, in High School Musical 3, there's a deleted scene where Zeke is going to ask her to prom, and once again, he's planning on bringing her more cookies, but then Jason takes them away, and all of a sudden, he seems kind of nervous.
Yeah, she's gonna listen to me. And listen good.
You got this. Now give me the cookies. You don't need these. Go on, get in there.
No,
You're empowered. You got these. No.
I mean, fair. I wouldn't blame him for being nervous because usually his cooking is the thing Sharpay likes most about him. Him not having kind of brings down what she likes about him as a person. Cookies, yes, I agree. Cookies are good. But that kind of could make sense. But at that point, that kind of explains Zeke with Sharpay. That doesn't really explain everything else, because there was a point. I mean, cooking is important, true. Food is important, true. But that wouldn't explain a lot of the musicals that happen before. Because, like, Stick to the Status Quo happens long before he starts baking for people. And he even proved that earlier. So as of right now, I don't like this one as much.
Zeke seems to really believe that the cookies are necessary to get Sharpay to go to prom with him.
Well, because
and
she
it
likes
turns out
it.
He doesn't need them, but the very first thing Sharpay says is...
Hey, Sharpay.
Zeke, cookies?
Interesting. Also later,
Hi,
he finds out
Chewie.
Jason ate the cookies meant for Sharpay, and he is very concerned.
Where's my cookies? You ate all the cookies? Those were meant for Sharpay, not you.
Those were apparently only for Sharpay, and
Well,
now he's
because
concerned about Jason, who later,
he baked them with love.
during graduation, jumps on him in a very similar way to Sharpay.
I can't explain this one, dang it. Fair enough.
Those were meant for Sharpay, not you.
So, what exactly is Zeke putting in these cookies? And look, I'd be willing to just call this a weird running gag with some maybe uncomfortable implications, but it's
say
not
that
just Sharpay that Zeke manipulates with his cooking. In the first movie, all the basketball boys sort of trick Troy and Gabriella into breaking up, and later they feel bad about it and decide to confess what they did to Troy.
Gabriella won't even talk to me. And I don't know why. We do.
But look at what Zeke does first.
I baked these fresh today. You probably want to try one before we tell you the rest.
He gives...
Okay, then. Okay, I see what you mean
Troy
here.
cookies so that he won't be mad, and
Right.
it works. Troy is never shown to be even a little upset that they caused his breakup. Zeke's cooking clearly has an effect on people, and he is constantly feeding everyone in these movies.
Interesting.
I'm good for a poolside picnic. What do you say? Zeke even made desserts.
They're cooling. I'll let you know when they're ready. Now out of my kitchen, miss. Hey, ladies.
To be fair,
I
that
bet you
could
those cookies
be.
that are always left out in Troy's house were made by Zeke. There's even this weird
I feel like that could
mention
still
from
be,
Troy
though.
in the first movie about having trouble remembering the previous night.
I think mass hysteria still kind
All I
of
remember is like pink jelly.
And he says the only thing
works
he can
slightly
remember
better than
is
this.
pink jelly.
All I remember is like pink jelly.
Which, I don't know, kind of sounds like something Zeke could have made him.
I love to bake strudel scones, even apple pandata.
What if Zeke is putting something in the food that's causing all the strange behavior we see?
Another popular
at these
theory about what
times?
caused the dance.
But wait, why would Zeke want the entire... What if Zeke is
What?
putting something in the food that's causing all the strange behavior we
Caused the dance
see
plague was
at
from
these
people
times?
consuming wheat that was contaminated by a fungus called ergot mentioned, which contains similar compounds to LSD. Everything Zeke bakes contains wheat. Oh, this is in the order of most to least realistic. True. Fair. But this just seems kind of more like as using stretches. So I feel like this could be easier. And also, everything Zeke bakes contains wheat. He kind of just disproved that in the previous thing, if this theory was true, because Troy had pink jelly, which doesn't contain wheat.
But wait,
So,
why would Zeke want the entire school to be constantly breaking out into song and dance?
And then there's that.
What do these songs ultimately accomplish? The songs are ways for characters to express their inner truth. It causes Troy to realize he wants to be in the musical. Why am I feeling so wrong?
I don't know. But there's just a lot of evidence that goes against this theory, I would say, is more. So then it's good. There's because like this song happens before people start tasting Zeke's baking. So
which allows Zeke
and people are actively against his cooking than in this. So
Cook up me and creme brulee.
So I would.
I think
there's just a lot of stuff that kind of goes against this one.
Because Zeke is drugging people with his
But
cooking to
it's
make
still
them
a
more
good theory.
accepting of him as a baker.
Kind of could make sense for a second and third movie.
I know
First one,
this is a really
not so
insane
much.
idea that has some admittedly uncomfortable implications, but you know, you gotta admit there is a surprising amount of evidence for it. I could not bring
but
it
there's
up.
a lot of counter
at least we know
evidence.
these theories can't possibly get any weirder than this.
Don't. Oh boy. The Breaking Bad High School Musical
wait.
theory.
Just hear me out.
I don't know if I
Breaking Bad is a
wanna.
dark, gritty
I've
crime
never
drama
seen
about
Breaking Bad,
chemistry
so I
teacher
can't.
teaming up with
I
one of
can't
his
give
former
much input
students
on
to
this
build
one.
a ruthless drug empire. High School Musical is a movie for babies about Troy trying to decide whether he wants to play basketball or sing in a musical. These are very different.
Yes.
You could not find two pieces of media.
Doesn't he do a
more
Breaking
polar
Bad
opposites than
theory
High School
for
Musical and
SpongeBob too?
Breaking
Does he
Bad,
just like
apart
Breaking
from maybe
Bad?
Blue's Clues and Law and Order. But what if I told you that they actually exist in the same universe? They both
what?
take place in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
They both came out in the mid to late 2000s, and they both heavily feature a high school. This is sort of a meme that's gone around the internet for a while because of these weird similarities. Even Mr. Matt Pat Film Theory, before he retired from YouTube, tried to make a theory about it.
And do you know,
Interesting.
as I tried, I couldn't figure out how to prove that High School Musical was in the same universe as Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's actually the reason why Matt Pat retired. It's just the one theory he can never crack.
Except for now.
Connection, let me know, because that would be the best theory ever.
Well, okay, Mr. Game Theory, I accept your challenge. Let's see if we can avenge your
Also,
death.
this would be film theory,
So,
not
with
game
all the
theory.
strange behavior and hallucinations in High School Musical, there is clearly a possibility that everyone is being drugged.
Right.
But what if instead of Zeke being behind it, everyone instead got hooked on a new popular drug that's going around town, Heisenberg's signature blue meth?
This is pure glass. This is art.
A drug that Breaking Bad has established can cause hallucinations.
How did they forget it? Fat enough. Yeah, right. Okay, again, I don't know as much about Breaking Bad, so I can't give input on this specifically, but I think he could do something good as it being like a third party, one. Being like, it's not necessarily Heisenberg, like the one thing that rocketed his popularity he never got all the answers to. Exactly. But this could be tying with the Zeke theory. And saying mass hysteria could have been caused by ergot, which was like an LSD. So it could be it doesn't necessarily have to be from Breaking Bad. It doesn't have to be Heisenberg. But there could be some sort of outbreak similar. So, I don't know.
And here's something I bet you never realized. Breaking Bad is also technically a musical.
What?
One of the episodes opens with a random band recapping the show's plot in the desert.
What?
And it's never acknowledged again. So yes, technically, we can also...
Bear and Noricano will probably talk more about them in actual Breaking Bad video, so we'll probably get Breaking Bad video in the
Gabriella
future.
is also referred to as a freaky genius.
I don't want to be the school's freaky genius girl again.
And is shown doing lots of chemistry with blue liquids, and is even shown teaching chemistry using blue rocks. okay. But these are just,
that's just
cute
silly.
little connections. None of this really definitively connects these two.
This is just kind of silly.
It's gonna take more than that to avenge Matt Pat. Well, let me ask you a question that you've probably never really considered. What is the musical in High School Musical actually about? You might be surprised to hear that we never actually get to see the school musical
that is true.
Troy and Gabriella auditioned.
We just kind of get to see
the movie
one
just
song.
literally ends with them at the callbacks. All we really know about the actual musical in High School Musical
is this
that it was
Moonset.
written by Kelsey, it's called Twinkletown, and we get to hear a few songs from it.
I've been looking for.
Right.
And you know what? The more I looked into the plot of this musical, the more I began to realize how much it eerily lines up with the plot of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
I know that sounds crazy, but just stick with me on this one. The
Okay.
first song is called What I've Been Looking For, and it's sort of vaguely about two people embracing a new relationship together.
He's gonna say this kind of ties in with drugs.
You might assume that it's a romantic relationship since it's sung by Troy and
damn it.
Gabriella, but Ryan and Sharpay also auditioned for the same role, and they're brother and sister, so I'm just gonna assume it's more of a platonic relationship.
It's hard to believe that I couldn't see you were always there beside me.
It's hard to believe that I couldn't see that you were always there beside me. This
Right.
is a relationship between two people who knew each other for some time before, but only now do they see each other in a new light. Jesse was Walter's student, who he never really thought much of, until he later found out that Jesse was secretly a meth cook.
Honestly, I never expected you to amount to much, but methamphetamine? I didn't picture that.
So they decided to partner up.
Okay.
I've never had someone that knows me like you do. The way you do.
I've never had someone that knows me like you do.
I can see where that ties
Jesse is
in.
the only person in Walter's life who knows
At least
about
till
his secret
season 2
criminal
until Saul
activities.
gets involved.
Lonely before I finally found what I've been looking for.
I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh,
Walter
boy,
was
okay.
living a sad, unfulfilling life before he
right.
partnered with Jesse.
I am an extremely overqualified high school chemistry teacher. I have watched all of my colleagues and friends surpass me in every way imaginable, and within 18 months, I will be dead.
But now he's discovered his true calling and finally found the exciting life that he's been looking for.
With Jesse. Okay.
The other song that Troy and Gabriella sing is called Breaking Free.
We're breaking free.
Right.
And it's also just kind of vaguely about being yourself and finally being free to do what you want with someone else.
Like
and
making
obviously, you can line that up
drugs.
with how
Oh,
Walter
God.
breaks free from his old life with Jesse. Or, more accurately, breaks bad.
We're breaking
Bad. Okay, so these songs line up surprisingly well.
Okay.
But at the same time, the lyrics are also pretty vague and
Right.
could probably line up with a lot
I'm
of
just gonna talk about the
things
blue dress and
by
bop to the top, I have a
But
feeling.
things get really insane when we take a look at our last song from the musical, Bop to the
Because
Top.
the blue dress. Good song again.
This is a song about the same two characters in a competitive environment doing anything it takes to climb.
I was waiting for that. Yeah, it's gonna be referencing this blue dress and the blue color scheme here, right?
The ladder of success.
Anything it takes to climb the ladder of success.
This This is literally the plot of Breaking Bad. They specifically describe
from what I know of
in a
it,
pretty
yes.
explicitly violent, brutal way.
Or in the sake of Breaking Bad, again, from what I'm aware, eliminating them.
Gotta bump the competition, blow them all away.
Okay, they're showing it.
In Breaking Bad. Wipe away your inhibitions.
It's precisely
Walter's
the plot.
whole arc
Yeah!
is about giving up his moral qualms and giving into his dark side. He's wiping away his inhibitions to achieve success in the criminal world. They also randomly start speaking Spanish in this song.
Which, Albuquerque. Or Gus.
And obviously all the Mexican cartel members in Breaking Bad primarily speak Spanish.
Yep.
Ryan is wearing a fedora just like Heisenberg.
That's
and
a
Sharpay
stretch.
is wearing a very blue dress,
and there
the
it is.
signature color of Walter's meth. Heisenberg
There it is.
dancing with his meth to climb to the top of the criminal world.
Okay, this is just silly. This is silly, but at the same time, kind of like it because of it. How it's funny.
How these universes are actually connected. Maybe Kelsey heard about the legend of Heisenberg, much like that narco corrido band in Breaking Bad, and she decided to secretly write her school musical.
Obviously, she wouldn't know their names,
if
or
everyone
have
at
to make
East
them
High
up.
is hooked on Walter's product,
What the
then
fuck?
clearly it's a big deal at this school,
Welcome
and it
back.
would get more people to watch the school musical.
But I think this is funny.
Okay, well there you go.
This
Mr.
is
Matt
like
Patrick,
kind of just
my
funny.
attempt at
I like it.
connecting
The
these
sillier it
pieces
is,
of
the more
media.
enjoyable it seems. Yeah.
I guess this means I get to be the new host of Game Theory. That's how that works.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Game
Anyways,
Theory
thanks
did
so
thing
much
on
for
Alex
watching.
Bale.
Those were my High School Musical theories. Make sure to like and subscribe, and tell me which one you think is the
Okay.
best. That'll.
Oh, still more.
What do you mean? There's two more theories?
Oh, where's this going?
No. You can't possibly get crazier than a Breaking Bad High School Musical theory. That's
I'm
clearly
worried.
the limit. You can't get any more insane than that.
The Human Zoo Theory. Can't wait until we get to Theory 5. Yeah. Oh, like I'm getting points again though.
Officially have reached the
Okay.
point of no
Human
return in this
Zoo.
video, where I will now
Two
try
more?
and convince
Yep.
you that East High is not actually a high school, but in fact is a human zoo where scientists are secretly watching and experimenting on
I was gonna say it's probably more like a human
I know that is the
experiment.
stupidest thing I have ever said, and
If
yes,
we're going with
like
the
always,
drug
I
theme.
am actually being serious. Okay, so where do we even start with this? In the first High School Musical, Sharpay and Ryan are in the school library, and they're researching the new student at their school,
Correct.
Gabriella Montez.
There's something freaky about her. Where did she say she was from?
They search her name on the internet, and the first two results tell them that Gabriella was an extremely smart student from out of town who's won a bunch of academic awards.
Wow, an Einsteinette.
But we can also very briefly see a third.
This one. Gabriella. San Diego Zoo's new chimpanzee is probably what that's going to be. Scientists set up real-time habit cam. Montez tours. Backcountry exploration specialists. Interesting.
That reads, Gabriella, San Diego Zoo's new chimp, scientists set up real-time habitat cam.
Interesting.
Now, at first, there's nothing
Yeah, I
strange
know.
about
Fucking
this.
Danny
They
Gonzalez also pointed this out.
very briefly see a third result that real-time habitat cam. Now, at
Pointed out this search result, but he didn't come up with this theory.
first, there's nothing all that strange about this. They searched up the name Gabriella, so
True.
they're obviously gonna get some irrelevant results about other things
Right.
with the same name. No big deal.
But also that's
what's weird
third.
is that this is a result about the San Diego Zoo, the same city that we can see Gabriella originally came from. And that's
Okay,
strange
then.
because they didn't search up anything about San Diego.
Diego.
They just
Right.
searched Gabriella's name. The fact that
Right.
it's from the same city is seemingly a total coincidence.
Unless
Then there's
they named
also
the
fact
animal
that it's about
outfit.
a new chimp at the zoo at the exact same time that Gabriella is a new student at East High.
So was she originally he a chimp then?
Two strange coincidences, but whatever. Gabriella's obviously not a chimpanzee, and this school is obviously not a zoo. I mean, this is too stupid of an idea to even think
Where
about.
else is this going?
But then I did think about it, and I kept noticing more of these weird coincidences.
Okay.
At the start of the first movie, listen to what Taylor says when she first sees the basketball guys.
Behold the zoo animals heralding the new year.
Behold the zoo animals?
Okay,
What is
then.
going on? This is such
A little bit of a stretch, but okay then. He does what he wants.
idea, but it
Good,
keeps coming
interesting.
back. And then I
don't know.
realized the students at this school are constantly being compared to animals.
Hey, what team?
Sharpay is kind of cute too.
So is a mountain lion.
Okay, first, alright, two things. I'm going to completely talk about this. Their team is the Wildcats. Every school sports team is named after an animal, though. So, I don't know about that. So is a mountain lion. Okay, maybe picking mountain lions a little more interesting when you realize this is in Albuquerque. But, like, you're just picking something that isn't cute. But would be human-natured, so kind of like an animal.
I smell a rat named Darvis.
Actually, I think it's two rats.
Rats. Again, rat is just a common terminology for a snitch.
What I'm gonna do to those two overmoved show dogs? Nothing. What's up, dog?
Again, show dogs. Very common lingo. Local school used to be named after Midwest Native Americans. Okay, fair enough. But animals are very common, though. Ducky is interesting. But this isn't in the school, so I don't know if you can count this. But interesting.
How's my dashing boy?
It goes around your neck, like a dog collar.
And then the fish turns into
That's
a
interesting.
Prince. That girl's got more moves
Interesting.
than an octopus in a wrestling match.
I know everyone
Interesting.
thinks that Sharpay's poodle.
The students even dress up like animals.
That's just a mascot costume.
Okay,
That's
but come on,
prop.
this is still such a stupid idea. Like, even if the students are
Again, a lot of
constantly
this can
compared to
just kind of be
animals,
explained.
obviously, we know that they're not. They're clearly human. We can see that with our own eyes. Like, what are we even supposed to assume here? That they were animals that somehow turned into humans? No, that is so
that's
stupid.
blast from the
End
past.
of story. Theory debunked.
Animorphs. Oh, evolution.
What the fuck? When Taylor is trying to explain to Gabriella why she shouldn't date Troy, she literally shows a diagram of a monkey evolving into a human.
From lowly Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon to early warrior.
But you also gotta consider this is like the science class.
Basketball man.
I'm gonna lose my
This is
fucking
like the
mind.
science
What does
class,
this
so
mean?
they
Why
would
are
kind of use
constantly
this.
telling us that these students are animals at a zoo. Are we really supposed to believe that these
There
students
is a
are,
lot
like,
of
originally
use,
animals
which is
that
interesting,
somehow
though.
evolved
I will
into
give them
humans?
that.
Hang on. No. We're not even talking about just a normal zoo anymore. This is some mad scientist sci-fi bullshit. This is not something
Right.
a normal zoo does. But wait a second. Remember, it didn't say zookeepers or zoo staff set up the habitat
The
camera.
new
It was specifically
scientists.
meaning there is some kind of scientific research going on.
Right.
Okay, you know what? Fine, whatever. I am going to entertain this stupid idea. Here's how I think this
entertain
could work. The students at East High were all former animals that scientists
Okay.
experimented on, speeding up their evolution process and transforming them into humans. They were placed inside of an elaborate exhibit inside of the San Diego Zoo that was meant to replicate a human high school environment so that scientists could study their behavior. The scientists even set up real-time habitat cameras disguised as normal school security cameras on the ceilings.
Maybe we're being punked. Maybe we're being filmed right now.
For the most part, the zoo animals act like completely normal humans, but some animalistic traits still appear, like how they all stick within their very specific animal packs and herds.
The drama geeks and the brainiacs suddenly think that they can talk to us.
Troy, I would consider myself an expert on that particular subspecies.
It's like a jungle up here.
Another way that this could go is, sure, you could use animals that turn into humans, would kind of fit the evidence better, but you could also say humans that were spliced with animal DNA. Because that's also a very popular trope for this sort of thing, is humans getting spliced with animal DNA, and they're starting to show the animal characteristics. It would also kind of explain some of the dance numbers, because they do some stuff that a human wouldn't be able to do normally, but if they were spliced with animal DNA and took on the animal's characteristics, yeah, like more of like an Animorphs situation, where they get spliced with it and have the capabilities of said animals.
Yeah, just like that cafeteria.
Also, there's the fact that Troy is always climbing trees like an animal.
What the heck are those two doing in a tree?
And it's like human characteristics. A human wouldn't be able to do that easily.
I guess I see things more clearly from up here.
So, like, but if he's spliced with animal DNA, he would be able to do it.
Why turn animals into humans?
If anything, animals wouldn't be able to do that as easily because they don't have as capability.
Taylor
Because
McKessie.
a lot of them,
is true,
like monkeys, use their tails to climb.
Who would be aware of it?
So it's like,
From lowly
it's
Neanderthal
weird.
and Cro-Magnon, Troy Bolton represents one side of evolution.
I would consider myself an expert on that particular subspecies.
But why?
Interesting.
What's so special about her?
Chem Club President Taylor McKessie.
And
Chem Club.
science girl
Interesting.
Gabriella hooked up with Troy Bolton.
Taylor is the head of the Science Club.
Interesting.
She knows so much about what's going on because she is one of the scientists secretly running the zoo.
Okay.
And what is Taylor's goal in this movie?
Troy Bolton represents one side of evolution, and our side, the side of education and accomplishment, is the future of civilization. This is the side where you belong.
She wants Gabriella to stay away from Troy so that she can better use her intelligence for the good of mankind.
Right.
And Taylor's not even exaggerating here. Gabriella is actually a genius who could change the world.
I don't want to be the school's freaky genius girl again.
Wow. Einsteinette.
A judge at an academic competition said they have never seen someone so poised and scholastically accomplished, and her future burns brighter than 1,000 suns.
But I
Holy
don't
shit.
think that would
The
work
entire
for
reason
animal
scientists are
stuff.
turning animals
So unless you're
into
saying
humans at
Gabriella
this zoo
is also
to
one of the
create
scientists and
super-intelligent
the...
subjects like...
Well, okay, hold on. So what if Gabriella is also one of the scientists, and because of her accomplishments, they named a chimp at the San Diego Zoo after her? And she is the one who is setting up the habitat camera. So that would also explain, because she doesn't really show any animalistic characteristics. So it could be that she is one of the scientists, and this article is actually about something dedicated to her from the zoo for the town she used to live and study in.
Gabriella
Could be interesting.
later go on to help mankind. That's why I think East High is actually a human zoo.
I don't know how you
I
get
guess
more
the
crazy about
experimentation
this.
also has the side effect of making them sing sometimes. You know, I kind of forgot that the point of these theories was to answer why the characters sing. I think I got a little
Lol.
carried away with this one, but that's okay.
Fair.
Because I have saved my personal favorite answer to this mystery for the final
His personal
and best
favorites last.
theory
Okay.
in this video.
Save the best
we
for
have
last.
officially reached the deepest layer of this theory iceberg. Get ready for the most insane, most ridiculous,
He
most
can get pretty
batshit
out there,
crazy
so
high
I'm
school musical
intrigued.
theory you will ever hear.
Let's see what we've got.
Alright, I'm gonna be honest, this one's not actually as crazy as Zoo Theory.
Okay.
I don't think I can actually
So
get
she got
any
him
more
backwards.
ridiculous than that one. This one's somewhere between Breaking Bad and
Okay.
Human Zoo.
At least he's honest. So save the best for last.
But the
If he
reason I
likes
saved
it,
this
he
one
likes
for
it.
last is because not only is it my personal favorite answer to this mystery, but I believe that it is the answer that is most likely intended by the filmmakers. Out of all
Interesting.
these theories,
Okay.
I actually think this one has a really good chance of being true. This
Okay,
is
let's hear it.
the Miss Darbus theory.
Okay. Let's hear it. Some deal with the
something
theater
at East
teacher.
High is forcing the characters to break out into song and dance against their will, and then seemingly forget about it.
Right.
But what is actually the point of these fantasy musical numbers? They cause characters to express their inner truth.
And now suddenly people are
Right.
confessing.
Inside I am stirring, something strange is occurring. It's a secret I need to share.
Okay, for this song, kinda,
about his
yes.
secret desire
And for
to
the
be in
first
musical.
movie, yes.
Zeke admits he loves baking. Chad comes out of the closet. The singing
Okay.
forces them to confess their inner truth, and it ultimately
Interesting
helps
phrasing
them
with using
discover
that
who
song.
they really are. And you know who's constantly talking about this exact same thing?
Miss Darbus.
Darbus. Miss Darbus is East High's drama teacher, and she is constantly talking about how the theater and the musical arts can help kids express themselves.
Right.
This is where the true expression of the artist is realized, where inner truth is revealed. The stage can be a wonderful partner in the process of self-discovery.
This is where inner truth is revealed. It's a wonderful partner in self-discovery. Doesn't
Right.
that sound exactly like what's happening to these students? And she even talks about the theater like it has some kind of supernatural divine power.
Proximity to the arts is cleansing for the soul. The theater is a temple of art, a precious cornucopia of creative energy.
Okay, yeah.
Is it possible that Miss Darbus is actually aware of what's really going on at this school?
So she's a
to answer
witch.
that, we need to take a look at her reaction to Troy's non-diegetic song in High School Musical 3. So this is the part in all of these movies where Troy is upset and he's bad at basketball and he wants to sing about being upset. So he breaks into the school at like the middle of the night and sings the iconic song Scream.
Yes.
This is clearly supposed to be a
Great song.
non-diegetic fantasy
Probably one of my
song where
favorites.
basketballs appear out of nowhere and the hallways literally turn upside down. And
Right.
it ends with Troy back in the school's theater.
And she's just watching. Interesting.
Miss D?
Troy realizes Miss Darbus is also there, and they
Interesting.
have this very interesting exchange.
And the reason for your visit is?
I don't know. I think I feel like this is a good place to
Scream?
or just to think.
Miss Darbus
Interesting.
says that Troy came
Pointing
here
out the
to
name of the
scream,
song.
clearly referencing the song he just sang. But then Troy
Right.
corrects her and says, "No, I was just thinking."
This is a good place to
Scream?
or just to think.
Troy believes that he was just thinking to himself because he's unaware of the fact that he just sang an entire non-diegetic song. But
Right.
Miss Darbus is
Interesting.
clearly very aware of what really happened.
Scream?
And she's not confused
Nice
by it
cutoff.
like other characters. She is absolutely aware of what's happening
Yeah,
to
she
these
doesn't
students.
seem shocked.
Why? Who is Miss Darbus really? Well, that's a
She could
tough
be a witch.
question to answer.
Could be
because we don't
supernatural
ever really
aspects
get any of her
happening.
backstory, except for maybe the occasional vague one-off line.
Better to consider opportunities now than in 10 years when life may limit your choices.
Better to consider opportunities before life limits your choices.
Right.
Kinda sounds like she's maybe talking from personal experience. Did
Yeah.
something happen in her life that limited her choices? Maybe
That
she
could be
wanted
interesting.
to be a Broadway star, but then got stuck as a high school drama teacher. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's hard to really understand Miss Darbus because we don't ever get to see what her life outside of East High is like. Trust me, I've rewatched all of her scenes many times, and I've never really found anything
Unless
that
she's
was
in the
useful.
background.
But maybe that's because the answer isn't in those scenes. At 46 minutes and 8 seconds into the first High School Musical,
Oh, are we talking about
just
graffiti?
A brief moment, we see a wall in the school that has been completely covered in writing. It says things you'd expect, like, "Go Wildcats," "Love the Wildcats," "Carol loves Tammy," all things you'd expect from the students at this school. But
Okay.
there is one thing
The one right
on
smack
this
in the
wall
middle,
that
right
really
above the cat,
stands out
right?
among the others. Something that legitimately gave me chills the first time I saw it.
What? Oh.
A drawing labeled Miss Darbus with X's over her eyes.
Interesting.
Now, I could understand a student writing something mean about a teacher they don't like, but
Right.
this isn't just an insult. This is clearly a drawing of Miss Darbus dead. It feels like some kind
Right.
of creepy school shooter's drawing that really does not feel like it fits in with this very PG Disney Channel universe.
Right.
I honestly can't think of any reason why they would include this depiction of
Unless
Miss
they're
Darbus
telling us
dead.
something.
Wait a second. When Troy broke into the school at night, why was Miss Darbus there?
That is interesting.
Miss D?
She claims it was to get some schoolwork done, but like, Why is she working on it in a very dark theater as opposed to, I don't know, her house? And look at how creepy she looks, just sitting there in the dark, secretly watching Troy. It's also weird that she just happened to be there on the one night Troy decided to break in. You know, come to think of it,
timing.
It's not just that we never hear about Miss Darbus's life outside of the school, it's that we've never even seen her outside of the school grounds. Hang on,
we have.
Is Miss Darbus like a ghost? No, that's stupid. But wait, this isn't even the only time she's just magically appeared in the theater. The first time Troy and Gabriella try to audition for the musical, she tells them that they're too late, and we see her leave.
Perhaps the next musicale.
Troy and Gabriella decide to stick around and sing the song anyways.
But she's
then
still there.
afterwards, Miss Darbus just appears in the theater again and acts like she heard the whole thing.
Wow. That's nice.
Bolton, Montez, you have a callback.
What? We saw her leave. We could even see while they were singing she was not there. But then a whole 2 minutes
But it looks
later,
like she's
she
coming
just
from around the
suddenly appears
corner
again,
here.
acting like she heard the whole thing. Look, we could even see that her appearing scares the other students.
Bolton,
Because, yeah, it looks like she's coming from that little wall to her left.
She also has a very similar moment to this in the beginning of High School Musical 3.
Well, how much time will it take?
Yeah, and what the heck is the show about?
you, Mr. Danforth.
Like 5 seconds ago, we could see she was clearly not there. My favorite of these moments was in the cafeteria in High School Musical 1. After Gabriella accidentally spills her lunch on Sharpay, she just suddenly appears again.
You do not want to get into that, man.
What is going on here?
Oh yeah, no, that one's just teleporting.
Life limited Miss Darbus's choices. She's always at the school, always suddenly appearing out of nowhere. There's a drawing of her dead. She even talks like she's from a much older time.
Perhaps the most heinous example of cell phone abuse is ringing in the theater. What temerity!
And she hates any new modern technology.
Was that a cell phone?
No, ma'am, that was the warning bell.
This perfectly explains why everyone seems to have this supernatural...
But if you're going with that, then that begs the question of how does the school still let her be a teacher of the class? Because she's dead, therefore the school should have a replacement for her. Unless you're going into the idea that everyone's dead and this is kind of like a weird purgatory state. Then they're replaying the same high school situation over and over again. And them graduating in High School Musical 3 is them moving on to the afterlife as they finally discover what they all want to do with their life. But I'm not the theory crafter here. He is, but if you're saying she's dead because everyone else is interacting, that kind of implies everyone else is dead. And this would probably be purgatory.
Musical spell over them that only she is aware of. Miss Darbus is a ghost that is haunting East High, and she is forcing these students to sing about their inner truth in order to help them discover who they really are. But let's hang on a second. The High School Musical franchise is just a bunch of grounded movies about kids in high school. There are no explicit supernatural elements in them. I don't think I can honestly claim that there's this secret, intentional, underlying message about ghosts haunting the schools in these movies.
Right. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna prove
Are you
it.
expecting me to just scream at you with some big final surprise evidence?
Yes.
Come on, guys. I am not that predictable.
Yes, you are.
High School Musical 3 was originally going to be a Halloween-themed movie called Haunted High School Musical and would have featured ghosts haunting East High. Yes, I am 100% serious. This is real. This is actually what they were originally planning on doing with the final movie of the trilogy before they decided to scrap the idea.
Huh.
We can still see hidden clues from this ghost subplot that I bet you they were planning on paying off in this movie, where it would have been revealed that Miss Darbus was actually a ghost all along and she was the cause of all the students breaking out into song. And that is my final High School Musical theory.
You know, I like it. It's very out there, but at the same time, it could work. there's a lot of stuff that kind of just works with it.
Thank you very much.
Honestly,
also, they would have revealed that the school is actually a human zoo inside of Breaking Bad. Okay,
sure.
bye. And thanks again to...
Okay. Canon ending, Lamau. Yes. Yeah, so what? It's 8:21 right now. Let me get our transitioning done. So I actually have another plan for today. Because, so for some of you who don't know, I actually got Hitman Word of Assassination for my computer because it's easier to play on computer. But funny answer, to say the least. But they just have a fun mission for 4th of July. Shouldn't take too long. Probably long enough for us to end after just doing it for fun. So we'll be playing that. Get that mission done. Well, challenge, not mission. Unless it forces me to play the... play it. No. And plus, I also got this for when I eventually want to at least check it out in VR. I've already done that. I've actually never done one of these things, so I believe it's not there. I'm actually not sure where to go for these challenges. Wilton's 2, correct? I've got to find where this is, so it might take a little bit. So, okay, wait. How do I go to this? Oh, I accidentally clicked it. I want to check the other... Here we go. Okay, so it's always dropping frames. Also, let's get this turned down, because this is loud on my end. Give me... Okay, give me... Oh, I'm just gonna quickly look up how to find this. Complete the Big Boom Challenge in Whittleton Creek. So first off, we're going to go to Whittleton Creeks. This one! Right here. We're unlocking this. Today. And it's going to give me the warning of the I don't care about, because we've already played all of this. Gotta remember where Whittleton Creek is. So I forgot there's a party happening on it during Whittleton.
None other than Janus.
I've already played all of it. We're gonna go default loadout. We're gonna wear a nice American patriotic outfit. We gotta be very patriotic. Basically, we have to kill both of our targets with a explosion. With one explosion. I actually already know how to do this. Well, I know how to start it. So, we're gonna do it. Basically, there's 12 cameras around the map that I have to destroy.
I've marked your map with several points of interest. We're running this mission with very little upfront intel, but these locations could provide clues to help you obtain the information we need. Good luck.
Man, we might have a situation. I'll check the perimeter. Over.
We do that to get rid of him. Well, don't accidentally do that. You have to take out this guy.
Stop.
Well then. We bring him to a bush. Disguise as him. Pick up this and this. Should be another camera. Yeah, right here. No, that's not a camera. How do I get uncrouched? See. Okay. There's 2 cameras I should be able to get right away.
If it doesn't show up, I want you to penetrate the house for sale.
There's still a substantial police presence in the town because of that politician visiting, sir.
Is it through here? Here it is. Sadly, I'm slightly slow, so my cycle's a little off. As long as no one sees me, we're fine. We need to drag him into this bush. Once it's hidden, take his outfit, come here, pick up his gun, put it on our back, uncrouch. I would much rather have... go climb up. Scale. Climb through. Okay, now we're inside.
Suspect not here.
I need to remember how to access our inventory.
Command, there? Someone's causing panic.
Okay, so that's there.
Watch out! Heads down, he's opening his toolbox!
Bro, what?
Gunshot! This is our time. Find the perp. All right.
Ah, he's gone! The sneaky bastard is gone!
Whoa, this is about to become a million times harder.
I strongly suggest you leave the vicinity. Hey, Chris, wake up! Whoa! What the?
So I actually don't know where the rest of the cameras are.
That's him! In the back!
Yep. Got one.
Careful! He's in the...
I need more clips!
Empty! Everybody
He
get
needs
down!
more bullets. There we go. Okay. Take this outfit.
Have a fly. Charles Blake III appreciates your support.
Boom. Okay, next camera down. Okay, then we go to the party.
Say, you guys haven't been poking around the frog habitat behind the house, have you?
No.
Oh, okay, great. It's just that, well,
Vote for Blake at the upcoming elections.
Excuse me, sir. Are you a registered...
I'm good. So the party is somewhere. It's here.
Your house is so beautiful. I'm really impressed.
He jumps over this fence. Oh, because you're trespassing. Let me make sure I know where I'm going. I could actually probably shoot that from right here.
Haven't you learned anything yet? How long did he talk for?
Oh, can't really be sure. Zoned out of it. Not as bad as that time I used the gramophone for the house, though. Man, that tune kicked off some old memories and some long-ass stories.
Did I get it?
He dragged me down to the basement and showed me all of his memorabilia.
You know how it works. The old man can't remember anyone's names, but trigger an old memory, he's got perfect recollection. He's practically Rain Man when it comes to his old adventures.
Well, I've learned my lesson.
Oh. Oh. What do I do here? I got an idea. Let's go back. Boom. Okay. I just have to go a lot further for the next one.
Those sell t-shirts that got teens in it.
Now, realistically, I probably should have played this in the free mode. Or the free roam mode, so I didn't have to do the find clues objective.
Have you seen that Janice's oddball nurse is at it again?
Oh yeah, the bird guy.
I already got a plan. We're a little too far. Stop crouching. That's next camera gone.
He's been sitting there most of the day. I don't know what he's reading, but it looks like it's the most interesting thing he's ever come across.
The new Cassandra Snow novel, maybe. Slivers of Past Shimmers, or something like that. See, my wife's reading it now. I can't get her to do anything around the house.
No, it's not a novel. I think it's a journal or a diary. He's one of the security people working over at that old Russian guy's house.
Let's keep going. So we're going to the blue house next.
Listen, I swear I have a license for it. I just don't bring it with me. You can't just confiscate my property. I need it to get rid of an aggressively invasive mole in this poor old man's backyard.
Calm down, Demolition Man. Unless it's a flesh-eating mutant mole, you don't need explosives. We're gonna keep them safe.
Already did this one.
Come on, standard procedure. You stuff the holes, and then you blow up the tunnel system so it collapses. Look it up on YouTube.
Sir, if the American police force looks to use as guiding principle for standard procedure, I'm pretty sure civilization would have collapsed a long time ago.
God damn it.
Come here. We take out this guy when he makes his way over towards us. And we're gonna take his outfit. That's our next target.
Huh? Okay. Huh? Ah.
Walk away, dude.
Station 8. Nothing to report.
That's 10. Got 2 more I gotta find. Which we are almost there. Assuming this is where we want to go. Okay. What? It's right here.
Hello? Anyone there? Who made that sound?
Alright. One more. Now that we're out here, where would it be? This way.
Say what? Well, I can't wait to tell my friends about that.
Oh, I need to go pick up something from here. Got it. Need to wait till this person turns around so I can go grab something from that container. There we go. Boom. Where is he going? So yes, right now I'm kind of at a point where I have a guide. It's easier this way. On the opposite side of Blue House. Oh, we're going back to the room we just were in. Where we just were. Plugging that hole with it. That hole right there. With it's C4.
Hey, strongman.
Bruh. We gotta go.
Drop off the surveillance tapes and Jane at the house. Cassidy.
Yeah, added them to the pile. What a stupid system. Record the surveillance in the attic, bring the tapes over to HQ and review them there. The recorder is perfectly capable of playing the tapes as well. Why not just keep them here?
What? Risk the owners of this house suddenly coming home?
Cassidy is certainly keeping a close watch on Janus. I'm willing to bet those surveillance tapes hold interesting information.
That damn rickety ladder over there.
Oh, did I do it correctly? I must have missed a camera. What camera did I miss, though? Oh, wait.
Modes, you say? Where the irony sits.
I'm not exactly sure what that means, Mr. Janus, but yes, you do have a rodent infestation of large proportions. I believe it's a mosquito spore. They seem really like it.
Of course they do.
What camera did I forget? So I feel like I got them all.
Found another pack?
Yeah. Toss that to the trash like the others. I really like guns. But if Mr. Janus wants to smoke, why stop?
It's like... So I'm trying to think if there's one in a spot I'm not aware of. It says I'm one short, correct? F1. Challenges. Here it is. One more camera. Have to find the last camera.
A neighborhood barbecue party. How suburban. My belly is rumbling. Wanna go inside? Have a fly. Read more about child play.
Let me look at this routing. Okay, so that one's gone.
Concerned, the beer flows freely. I think we'll return. Yes,
Got that one. So that's 2.
It's your chance to change the world. Both places.
So we've got 2 guaranteed. So, okay, wait. Okay, so again, we have a guide for this. He comes out. Shoots the one in front. Is there one inside that I missed? Oh my... You're joking.
That was a thorough display of surveillance cleanup, 47. I wonder what will happen now.
Everyone's in a gross spot. Now that that's done, come here. We're going to save because we need to time this. Bruh.
Someone help me out here. I need some help. Now! Get behind me and stay low.
What? Fuck. Okay. Try this again. Let's be smart. Okay. Come here. Take this disguise back. Sure, now we're trespassing, but these two are gonna meet up.
Going okay. I really miss you and Princess.
He recognizes I'm not me. So you have to be smart. We're gonna stay away and keep an eye on him with detective vision. If you remember, we have a C4 planet. If you remember, we have a C4 right there.
This is Nolan Cassidy. We need to talk about the security situation. I'm in the backyard. Cash. I'll give it to Ken. Come out and meet you later.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Dick. Awesome. Picture. Yeah. Wait, Mark. Look great. I got
Okay.
I can afford it.
Got it. So now it's just a waiting game. Okay, he's starting to get into position.
Yeah, definitely unless you are Picasso.
Let's all walk this way a little.
Ah, Janus. I wanted to have a serious talk with you.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
And just like 4th of July,
Your security system.
things go out
You know that?
I do.
with
Let's hit it.
boom.
And that is Nolan Cassidy. Both targets are confirmed killed.
Oh, jeez, darling, I'm so hungry.
And now we have to go do some of these clues again. Which we're gonna do smartly.
Crap.
Hey, you! Please stop throwing stuff around, okay? Let's be mature.
What?
We might have a situation. I'll check the perimeter. Over.
One of Janus's many diaries. He's apparently been the chairman of the Ark Society for years. He stepped down very recently, but is still attached to the society. Well,
So that's one.
47, this is valuable information.
Hey, how I have to do all the finding the clues again, but I might as well because I get XP for it. And plus, I want to waste a little bit more time before Netgo stream tonight.
Vote for Blake at the upcoming elections.
What? God damn it. Where's the shovel? What? Where was it? There it is. Oh wait, that's Frog.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw something, but nah, I'm probably just tired.
Yeah, you're definitely tired, dude.
A cigar box with a few cigars and a note inside. Well, this is very interesting. The note indicates that the box was given to Janus by the Constant as per tradition, he writes. 47. This could mean the Constant and Janus meet up on a regular basis. Excellent find.
Now I have a fun idea. Once I get my last clue.
Here's your chance to change the world. Vote Blake.
Once I get my last clue, I'm honestly at a point where I don't care about my score as much. Because this isn't like me doing something for a win, and for like actual trying to get you guys into the story and all that. This is me having fun.
Say, wouldn't you?
Okay. Wonder what's on TV tonight.
Say, wouldn't you like to come out to the stand and join us, giving away all these wonderful muffins?
Oh, I'd love to, my darling, but I've got to do some sewing. Janus has a dressing gown that needs a few touch-ups, and he's getting anxious. Apparently, he needs it for something soon.
You seem to have so
A
many
robe
things
for
going
Janus.
on, Mrs. West.
What could he need that for?
Let me fall, dude. Now, which house is it in? Oh, it's in this house? This house is the house I get to do it to? Well, let's see if we've got a thing I can do it to. It does not look like it. Well.
A ceremonial robe of some sort with a note from Janus attached. The note is interesting. Janus has asked Helen to do a few repairs on the robe before he leaves for his annual trip.
Which, fun fact, Helen is not a good person.
This is valuable information, 47. Good work, 47. We now know Janus is meeting with the Constant at an event related to the Ark Society. And we have an approximate date as well. I think that's all we're going to get.
It doesn't.
We're close to the finish line.
That's part of the problem.
It's time to end this.
You're right there to confiscate your stuff and treat you like a goddamn terrorist. But when you're targeted, like you're all like...
Excuse me?
Which is why we need to play smart. Ah, fuck. That could be bad. I have a... Oh. That's why people recognized me.
Weird.
Oh.
They saw the gun on my back. That's how I was recognized.
Here's a flyer for you. Mr. Blake has many important initiatives to share.
And just like that, without a hitch, we escaped. Yay! Very nice. I didn't get to cause a mass poisoning though. Because you can use this frog to poison a whole one building and it kills everyone inside it. Nitro freak. Fair enough. I will take Mastery level 4 though for that. And there it is, the item we wanted. A flashbang. And can blow stuff up. And we do not care about that. As our goal was to just do that level. But yeah, no, today was fun. Like I've said prior, reaction content isn't going to be common. It'll just be come out when, like, theories that I find I want to react to come out. So I might do those. And stuff kind of like that. It's... And, like, it's just kind of some fun stuff. I'm not gonna... doing it often, but we might find some stuff here or there. I recommend it's just flood with 4th of July stuff. Honestly, you know what? Let's just call it. I don't really see need for us to do stuff. So, we'll just call it there. If you enjoyed the content, do please leave a like, subscribe. For those who are part of Neko's channel, I will see you over at her side in about 25 minutes for some repo. But, until next time, I will see you guys Monday for some more Batman, which I'm excited. Until next time, bye!